I
Live.
think we're live. Yep.
Hey.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to this live. Thank you for your patience, guys. As usual, Zoom is not so good to me, but I'm super excited to have Alex with us here today. I'm ready to learn like all of you guys are, from really a master in sales and prospecting and in a lot of things, you know. What's up, Alex? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, Ali. I hope you're doing well. Everyone that's
I'm doing
watching,
great.
appreciate you. Guys, he's up, he's here right now for you at 10:40 p.m. You know what I'm gonna be doing tonight at 10:40 p.m. So you better show up with some massive love in this live.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, what's the deal, right? I mean, come on. That's the whole point. We appreciate it. I'm glad I'm here. I appreciate you, man.
What's up, man? Cool. Guys, if you're showing up live, make sure you drop hashtag live, watching replay, hashtag replay. I want to know where you guys are tuning in from. And man, let's dive right in, man. So man, before you drop some value bombs on us, on prospecting and all of these things, it's always interesting to see how you know people have arrived to the point where they are. I mean, what was that like for you, man? I know that you were doing journalism before. Like, what was that like, man?
Yeah. So basically, what happened was when I started my agency, before I started coaching, I didn't even realize I had an agency at all. I just needed a little bit of extra cash when I was going to university. And my next door neighbor was an attorney, and I met him at a local BNI event. And he ended up paying me $1,000 a month to post him on Facebook. And I did that for a couple of years while I was in college. And then while I was in college, I had the opportunity to ask him for referrals. And when I asked him for referrals, he ended up sending me a ton of opportunity for attorneys to work with them and offer them the same services. So I had probably like 10, 15, no, like 10 attorney clients while I was still in college. But in my mind, it was just always, a side hustle. It was never like an agency. I didn't even know that that was a job. And I was just needing to make the money. When I graduated school and realized that, the career path I wanted to go down wasn't what I needed, what I really was going to go after, I realized that I needed to kind of start from square one. So I started up in journalism because I knew that I had some money from these attorney clients. And if I kept them, then I could just do journalism, which is something I'm passionate about. I like sports a lot. So started doing that for a while and made no money at all. But I got to work for the Miami Dolphins, which was really cool, and the UFC, which was really great. And by serendipity's sake, I went to an event and there was a guy on a Twitter application I'd never seen before. I asked him about it and he said, I am a social media manager. And when he said those words for the first time ever, it framed what I was doing. It made me realize that there's a career behind this. And I didn't think about that. So as soon as I went home that night, I started searching social media management and what does that mean? And I saw events in San Diego for social media marketing world and Sam Ovens and Ty Lopez and all these things and ads. And then suddenly I started getting bombarded with ads. And one guy's ad really resonated with me. His name was Dave Rogenmoser. And Dave is this really tall guy. He's like 6'6", huge guy. And he's behind a green screen and he's kind of expressing himself and talking about how he grew his company. And all I'm thinking while he's saying this is like, I could do that. I could do an ad on Facebook like this. But before that, I have to understand his model. So I bought his course. It was the first time I ever invested in anything in my life for my business. Paid $1,000 to him and used that course to really develop more effective systems. Over the next year, I messed up as much as possible, but I created really highly effective prospecting and sales models, and then realized I'm just not good at fulfillment. I cannot do sale. I cannot do SEO or Facebook ads or any of those types of things, and I don't want to. So I hired a company, Reach Local, to become my main fulfillment partner, and then I hired someone at Reach Local and paid them some significant green so that they would take over the role for me completely on the fulfillment. And as soon as I did that, our business exploded. And as soon as that happened, I started prospecting on demand, which was coaching. So it took me about 2 years to go from agency world into the coaching world. And I've been doing the coaching for now 3 years. This year alone, over 120 agencies we worked with have hit six figures. which is amazing. About 20 of them, 7 figures, which is more than I ever made, which is awesome. I love that. It's just an awesome experience. So yeah, it was definitely a very interesting storyline. And in retrospect, it just seems like everything fell in line. But I think what I end up realizing, Ali, is what really happened was just putting in the effort and not giving up and giving it everything I had. If I do that, then I know I would achieve what I needed to. And here I am today, you know, really proud of what I've done. And I think I've just scratched the surface of what I'm capable of. So I'm really excited about it.
It's awesome, man. Awesome. And what do you think really accelerated that process, or what really was the number one skill that really helped you achieve the level where you're at today and really impart, you know, the kind of knowledge on people that's helped them accelerate their journey as well towards, you know, growing their business? And like, what's helped you be an awesome coach as well?
There's a couple things. I would say for sure investing in mentorship was really, really valuable. I would say before I made any investments, I think 2 major key elements were self-belief. I have a ridiculous self-belief. Like, I did a video the other day. I did a video on Monday on my profile about owning your badassery. And I wrote on the post that I'm the best coach in the world. And I know a lot of people will look at that post and be like, oh, fuck that guy. So arrogant. I don't want to speak to him. But what they're missing the point is like, if I don't believe that, who will believe that? Right? I'm not saying anyone else is bad. I'm just saying what I'm great at, and I'm owning my shit. And I've owned my shit forever. Like, I've always been that person. I'll show you real quick. So these are my media badges for when I used to work with the Dolphins and the UFC. So this event, when I got this, I didn't have any journalism background. I did not go to school for journalism. And ultimately, I was just really a Dolphins fan, not having any realistic reason as to why, but I was committed. So I just called them every single day for 2 months in a row until they're finally like, oh my God, stop calling. Yes, you can be a media member. My God. That was basically what it was. And I grew up in a home that it was very consistent. They would kind of tell me, you know, my greatness. That was something that they would always express, like the greatness of the Schlinsky name, the greatness of you, own your uniqueness.
Wow.
Badass. And then also something that I didn't appreciate, but now I really do, which is you can do anything you set your mind to. My dad would say that all the time when I was a kid, and I hated it because I'm like, no, I can't be an astronaut. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I can't jump off a building and fly. I cannot swim underwater without breathing. Like, this is garbage. Like, I can't do whatever I want. But then when I really got this, and I showed this to my friends and my family and everyone, and I got this, I realized I could do anything I want. If I put my mind and effort into it, then I can get anything I need if I believe in myself. So I think that was the first thing. The second thing was also that self-belief is also so similar to self-awareness, knowing your weakness. And I knew my weakness was fulfillment, and I needed to hire people to help me. I might have done it the wrong way. I tried to learn it myself first, but that was because I didn't have experience before I handed it off. And then mentorship took me from my self-belief and my models that were working to a proven model and a proven track. And as soon as I did that, and as soon as I got those results, I knew for a fact that my mission in the world was to create impact through coaching and speaking. And that's what I do today. And it's an incredible gift. I'm very, very grateful.
Amazing. And when you say that your challenge was fulfillment, what do you mean by that? Like just help a lot of people understand, like what does that mean, man?
Like the delivery, the delivery of the service. So I ran two businesses. I ran a marketing agency and I ran a coaching program. So for the marketing agency, I didn't know how to do any of the delivery, like Facebook or SEO or PPC or any of that stuff. So I needed someone to hire it. For the coaching side, I didn't know how to do the delivery that the clients wanted. So I only knew what I saw previous, which was like build a course, sell the course. But what if they needed more help? What if they needed what if they had questions? What's the format? So I needed to kind of learn about those models. So every business has 3 core tenets: prospecting, sales, and fulfillment. Prospecting is leads coming in, sales is converting those leads into clients, and fulfillment is delivering the service. And I think my biggest issue when I was growing my company was not knowing how to do fulfillment appropriately. I was always good at prospecting and sales. I got better at it, of course, but that was already a natural skill I had. So the key was, how do I ensure that I can use those skills to create the most impact and most money for myself and my family?
Got it. Awesome, man. And then And then once you realized that was the one area that you needed to focus on, you just started building a team and delegating that component, or did you tackle that weakness?
So I tried to tackle the weakness first, which was a mistake. I think I have kind of like a way in my life of like separating personal things and business things. So I think in personal life, you should work on your weaknesses. You should take energy and effort to be a better husband or a better father or a better son or a better friend or a better listener or a better communicator or better at X, Y, and Z, one of your weaknesses, right? But in business, I don't believe in that.
Yep.
I believe in business to delegate your weaknesses so you can focus on your strengths, double, triple, quadruple down on what you're good at already. Me spending any time learning how to do Facebook ads is a waste of energy because I'm not going to ever be good as good as someone else when I could just do sales or prospecting, which is something I was always good at. I just need to take the time to really execute. So that's kind of where, I came into my skill. When I started my company, Prospecting on Demand, my coaching program, my biggest goal was teaching what I knew and not teaching what I don't. So when someone came to me like, Alex, I'd really love your help to show me how to do SEO and how to do Facebook ads better, I'd be like, cool, nope, go speak to someone else because that's not what I do. I don't know that.
I love that.
What I can tell you though is I can tell you how to close better, and I can tell you how to do prospecting more efficiently, and I can tell you how to grow your business through hiring. I won't be able to tell you how to deliver, right? And a lot of people in the beginning, they didn't get it. And it made me question what I was doing. But the reality is you have to have that belief in yourself that what you're doing is the right thing. And eventually, and very soon thereafter, people started understanding that you don't have to do everything. The people that sell iPhones don't know how to make the iPhones, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to. Like the owner of the Subway doesn't have to know how to make the sandwich as long as the sandwich maker knows how to make the sandwich. So that's kind of my model. That's what I do. That's what I coach. It doesn't work for everyone, which is totally fine. I have no problem with that at all. A lot of people come to me, Ali, and they're really stressed out because they say to me that they can't sell something that they don't know how to do. And I say, one, that's a bunch of bullshit. Two, I get it in terms of imposter syndrome. Like they feel that out of integrity, they cannot sell something that they don't know how to do. And it's like, if your team knows how to do it and they get the results, then what does it matter? Why do you have to know? In fact, ignorance is even better because if you do know, you might say something that's wrong and create the wrong expectation and thus put them in a bad position. So that's my model for prospecting and sales and fulfillment and how I kind of run my models in my business.
Gotcha. Awesome, man. That's super, super interesting. I love that. I love it. Focusing on your zone of genius and outsourcing the rest, man. That's
100%. 100%.
When it comes to, let's dive into this. A lot of times I hear, from coaches, agency owners, different people starting out. It's like, where do I find opportunities? So help them like really break that myth. And what are the different strategies that you have to just uncover all of these opportunities waiting for you in the marketplace?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I do is I recommend a low-hanging fruit like audit, meaning you sit down and you identify the people that you know that you could potentially serve and reaching out to them with a very transparent offer, getting on a call and seeing if you can close them. I think a lot of people find it very uncomfortable to reach out to people that you know. But if you can't even sell the people that you know, there's no way you can sell a stranger ever. Also, the people that you know will never sugarcoat anything. They'll be upfront with you and real with you. When I started Prospecting on Demand, I did a beta for 10 people I knew. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, I want you to tell me if you trust me. That was what I said. Do you trust me? They said, of course. Like, what is this about, Alex? Well, I trust you, of course. And I said, well, look, I want to create a program and I want to do coaching, but at the end of the day, like I don't have the program laid out yet. So I can either take a massive risk and make a whole program and try to sell it, or I can get 10 beta members at $150 that trust me and know that I'm going to give them great value as long as you go through it and give me feedback. I reached out to probably like 30 people and got 10 people to pay me $150. I even had one person say, I'll give you $500 if you do a one-on-one call with me and to show you how much I appreciate you. That was Philip Calavet, one of my really close friends and a legend in Prospecting on Demand. But it allowed me to build confidence that what I'm doing is the right thing. So first and foremost, your current network. Don't forget about it. It's so valuable. Outside of that, Facebook groups are amazing. Now, I want to kind of express like how to do this appropriately because I think a lot of people do this really poorly and with no regard for building relationships. When you go into someone else's group that they've taken the time and effort to create or work on, don't just go in there and try to snipe people. Go in there to create value, express value, true value, right? Then you can connect with them, build a relationship, and then make an offer. If you're just going in there with the only intention to just make an offer up front, you're just going to make this shitty for everyone else. Don't do that, right? Like, just don't do that. Go in there and share value. If someone likes it, they're going to reach out to you, or you can reach out to them, and then you can make an offer. So that's really important. I would put in at least 60 minutes a day for Facebook groups that are related to you, for posting, commenting, engaging, and friend requesting. The other thing outside of those two, in terms of low-hanging fruit, are local meetups. I think a lot of people disregard local meetups because they want to stay behind the computer all the time, Ali. But if you just get out there and put yourself out there in BNI or Toastmasters or a local meetup or an entrepreneur event, you'll meet a lot of people. And if you meet people, then you'll create opportunities for referrals or elsewhere. The other one, and the final low-hanging fruit one, is the most obvious, but people forget it. And that's religious affiliations. If you're part of a church, a mosque, a temple, or whatever, in any way, a Buddhist place, a Hindu place, it doesn't matter what your religion is. You communicate and engage with people that are just like you in a similar way in your devotion. And if that's the case, then you can also talk to them about what you do personally, and there might be a fit to work with them. I'll tell you from my dad's experience. My dad was a funeral director for 20 years, and he quit his job and wanted to become a financial advisor. But it was really dangerous to quit his job without having any, actual financial opportunities. So what he did was he went to the temple and he asked if he can do a seminar for the temple to talk about financial advising. And he had I think 100 people show up from this temple of I think there's 2,000 people or something like that. And my dad's a well-known guy in the community. He was the president of the temple for probably the year prior, I think it was. So he got, people to show up as hey, I'm here to support you, right? And from that day, he ended up closing 30 clients that wanted to work with him. He built his book of business in one day, one seminar, one meeting before he was really even launched, because these people know, and trust my dad, and they wanted to ensure that they're working with someone that they can know, and trust. I can't recommend this enough. It's a very powerful method. It works very, very well. And I strongly advise it. So those are 4 of the main low-hanging fruit. In terms of long-term prospecting models, you have to understand kind of the 5 stages to prospecting. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to be effective in it. And I think a lot of people think prospecting is just random outreach. It's really not. It's really a formatted, specific process. And I'll break it down in my framework so you have full clarity on this. If you have any questions, you can throw it in the comments below. I'll make sure I answer them. The 5 stages are as follows. Offer. I'm not talking sales offer. I'm talking about prospecting or nurture offer. And I'll explain what that means. A prospecting offer is an offer that you make to someone to get on a call with you. So Ali, if you've never heard of me before and you want to join Prospecting on Demand, I might reach out to you and say, hey bro, want to do a prospecting audit with me? On the call, we'll break down your prospecting methodology. I'll see what you can do to improve your messaging. And if you want, I'll make you an offer to see if we can work together to do it for you. What do you say? Want to jump on a call? That is a prospecting offer, not a sales offer, an offer to get on a call, something of value. The classic prospecting offers over the last 50 years have been, of course, free consult, right? Free strategy session, right? Those are the main ones. They do not work anymore. No one wants a free consult. No one wants a free strategy session, because you know what they think that is? Let me have you pitch you something, right? Doesn't work well. So you want to have a name of your offer. It's very powerful. Competitors analysis, video audit, roofing breakthrough call, any of those types of things are highly effective as your prospecting offer. The other type of offer that I'm talking about, again, not sales offer, is what I call a nurture offer. A nurture offer is a message that you use to get a response. So in prospecting, there's 3 processes or things that you're trying to identify. Again, 1 is getting a response. 2 is getting on a call, and 3 is the conversion from prospecting to sale, which is the close. So 1, get a response, 2, get on a call, 3, close the deal. So if you're struggling to get a response, you want to use a nurture offer. Hey, Ali, do you coach X, Y, and Z people? Question. Yes. Now we're building a relationship. We're creating a conversation to the point that then I'll make you a prospecting offer in the next message or in 2 messages later to get on a call. In which case, when you get on the call, then I can potentially close you on my deal. That's the format. So the first of 5 stages for prospecting is your offer, prospecting or nurture offer. You have to have them written out. You have to have a plan for them. You have to make sure that your audience finds them to be valuable. When your prospecting offer actually works, then you can run ads because you know the offer works. And it's great when that happens. So the next stage number 2, is compiling leads. Most people in prospecting just reach out randomly. They do not track. They let leads slip through the cracks. They're not sure when to follow up, how to follow up, what to say, how to get them on a call. They're just doing things, right? And then they're like, Ali, why does prospecting not work for me? Well, because you're just doing things. You're not actually creating any model. So my recommendation is to pay a VA or download a leads list from like D7 Lead Finder to get all the information you need from qualified leads. So if you go to a company and you're a coach, let's say, and you work with accountants, you go to a VA and you tell them, hey, I need accountants in the United States who have their own practice, and I want you to generate them from on LinkedIn, and I need 200 of them, and I need them by the end of this week. Can you do that for me? Yes or no? And if they can, pay them $200 to $500. It's worth it, because if you get those quality leads and you follow up with them and you sell a service that's more than $1,000, you're going to get the results, right? I can't recommend this enough. Compiling leads is key. So that is the second stage. The third stage is the outreach process and message sequence. So what I do is I want you to follow up to less people more times. Less people more times. The idea is shooting fish in a barrel rather than a wide net. So you just reach out to those people on different platforms, right? This is what I call carpet bombing. Now, the idea of the outreach message and process, the outreach process and message sequence is having it written down in a step-by-step format. If you do not have it written down, then you're really never going to do anything with it, right? Like, you're going to tell me and you're going to sit here and say that you will do it, but you're never actually going to follow through with it because you don't know what to say or what to write. So if you actually put it step by step and have it on your actual document in an SOP, then you'll be able to execute. And I'll show this to you so that you have clarity on this. I'll show you what I mean. So this is, for example, the prospecting in a box sequence. So this is the outreach process and carpet bomb follow-up. Sequence details, and then day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, all the way through day 11, step by step what you do. Then this is coming up to the next thing, which is tracking and pipeline. We'll come back to it. But the next thing you want to have is just exactly what you have here. So this is my initial nurture email. Does your business have the capacity to handle these amount of clients this month? Then the follow-up. Hey, does your business have the capacity to handle these clients? Hey, next day, did you see that message I sent you yesterday? Hey, I want to call you to ask you a question. If you put this in a format, step by step on your business model, well, then you'll actually have a real SOP. If you don't, then you're never going to have effective prospecting. You have to put it into a format. So that is step number 3, an outreach process and a message sequence. Step number 4 is tracking and pipeline stages. I'll actually come back to this SOP to show you it because it's really valuable and I think you guys will enjoy it. If you guys are enjoying this, throw a 7 in the comments below. Let me know. I want to hear from you. So the pipeline stages that I recommend in prospecting are as follows: lead no call booked or lead outreach sent, lead sales call booked, 3 committed but not paid or proposal sent, 4 payment collected, and then 5 is payment overdue. The payment overdue is really for like a retention thing, but if you don't want to use that, you don't have to. But if you have a format in Pipedrive or ActiveCampaign or CRM, HubSpot, however you do it, at least you can follow through and never let leads slip through the cracks, which is key, okay? The final and 5th is the carpet bomb follow-up. Now, this is different than messaging sequence because the carpet bomb follow-up is when they respond to you to get an appointment set. Now, the best way to do appointment setting is just to call. Call them up, say, hey, you answered me here, wanted to offer you this. Let's just set some time tomorrow to speak. Because if you do that, they're forced to take action with you on the call. That is my literally exactly what I coach for $10,000, 5-step prospecting system, step by step. That's exactly what you have to do. And if you do that model and you listen to this call and implement it, I promise you, you'll have a much more effective growth model for your business.
Amazing, man. Amazing. That's incredible. And give me some like examples of like, when you talk about SOP, like how do you first go about, thinking about how to approach something like that? Like for a messaging sequence or something like that. Like what's that process like, man?
Market research, really. Like making sure that what you're saying to them is actually valuable to them. Like what can you provide that's true value? When you create your prospecting offer, you have to identify like what your audience needs. So for me, my offer is a prospecting audit. So when I give someone my perfect prospecting system, which is one of my lead magnets, I'll show you here. On the bottom of my lead magnet, I offer the prospecting audit. And I'm just going to open this up here. I offer actually on this one a system assessment. So I'll show you. So in this one, it says I offer a free prospecting system assessment. Before you implement, I'd like to personally assess your current system and process and help you see exactly how you can do this for some quick wins. What we'll dive into are these 3 things. You can book your system assessment here, click the button, and it goes to the call. Because I know that if you do this, it forces them to take action because this is valuable to them. Even if they don't buy from me, at the very least, this is of value to them. So what is valuable to your audience? If you're not sure, call some companies up and just say, hey, I'm a student. I'm trying to provide value to companies like yours. Would you find value with X or Y or something else altogether? Let me know. People like helping people who want to help themselves. That's what it's all about, right? People want to help people who want to help themselves. So if you're doing market research, I would identify very clearly the terminology that they use, the biggest pain points that they have, and then identifying an offer that's valuable to them to get on a call with you in order to sell them. And that's how you build out your messaging.
When you say something that forces them to take action, what do you mean? Something that's got very little friction to it. Like, how do you identify what do you mean by that specific statement?
Perfect. Forcing to take action means saying yes or no. The most frustrating thing possible in sales or prospecting is just getting ignored, right? So I want to use models that force people to take action. So I'll give you an example. Good example would be someone we know mutually sent me a ghost GIF about 2 months ago because I didn't answer him on one of our messages. You know who I'm talking about. And I was like, dude, that's really smart, because I had to answer him when he sent that because it's funny and silly and true. And then I was like, okay, I love that. I'm going to start implementing that for all of my follow-ups, right? That's kind of like one of those kind of forcing to take action things. If you're not an asshole and you see that GIF, you're probably like, okay, like I'll answer, or hey, I'm not interested, or hey, I'm interested. Either way is fine. It's like you're saying, little friction, kind of cheeky, a little bit funny. I'll show you a perfect example here. Give me 1 second.
Show them that ghost GIF, man. That's awesome.
I'm going to show it to you. So the other day, this guy was messaging me. He was messaging me. He was like, Alex, I was ignoring him. Okay. I was ignoring him. And I'm like, sorry, I'm not ignoring you. What I want you to do moving forward, because he was saying that he's struggling with people to respond, I want you to send this GIF. And I said, it's a guaranteed response. So you wrote, okay, it's noted. Then this was on Thursday last week. Then Monday, oh, hold on. Bad timing to get a call, huh? Then on this Monday.
Yeah.
Come on. Hold on. It would be great if it would work. Okay, there we go. So it says not seeing a calendar booking, because I told him I would book a call with him, which I didn't, right? And he sent me the GIF of the ghost. And I'm like, haha, amazing. I'm going to book for Friday right now. So I can't, hide anymore. Otherwise I'll keep pushing off. Send the calendar link. So he sends me the calendar link and I tell him I booked it, right? He wrote, haha, you're the man. You're right. The ghost does work. And I wrote, I told you it worked on me. You can't say no to the ghost. It literally is on me. So the ghost works really well. So that's kind of what I mean when I say forcing to take action, like super low friction, just getting them to say yes or no. Like another really good one is the close your account message. So if you feel like someone's ghosting you for a while, even if they don't answer like a GIF or that one, all you have to do is just send them a message and say like, hey, totally understand that you're busy. I don't want to bother you if you're not interested. Just let me know if you're not. No harm, no foul. I'll close your account. If you are interested, let me know. Otherwise, I won't message you anymore, right? And then usually people will answer that. They'll either say, hey, sorry, man, I've been busy. Definitely keep me in the loop. I want to work with you. Or, yeah, it's not going to work. Now's not the time. That's what I mean by creating like forcible action.
Yeah, I love that. That is so powerful, man.
Yeah, it works really well.
So powerful. Yeah. And getting them to say, I mean, getting them, in a funny way, because that makes a lot of people feel really awkward, So to just insert something like that, make it a fun part of the process. Absolutely brilliant, man.
Anything that we can do that's fun would be great. I'm not going to call this guy out. It's not appropriate, but there is a guy that I've been trying to like work with for a while, and he engages with everything, literally every single thing I do. But when I message him on Messenger, never answers. Ever. And I've sent him silly videos. I've sent him messages. I'm like, dude, why the fuck are you always ignoring me? Like, do you want me to block you to like force you to never see my content again? Like, I want to say that to him, but I sent him the ghost today for the first time. So we'll see.
I need to find that ghost, man. That is a secret weapon, man. I'm going to use that.
Comes up. Just search ghost. Comes
really?
up. Yeah.
Guys, if one takeaway, honestly, like this is incredible, guys, the ghost. Like anytime someone is ignoring you in a follow-up, just use the ghost, guys.
I cannot take credit for it. Like I said, you know who it is, but he did.
I know who it is.
I was like, bro, I'm not ghosting you, but yes, now I have to answer yes. You're right. It's pretty funny.
I'm putting the ghost in the SOPs, man.
Yes.
So cool, man. Cool.
The SOPs.
Awesome, dude. Absolute gold, man. With regards to the prospecting, guys, if you know, if you got a lot of value out of this, make sure you let us know in the comment section. But like, just I think really, like you said, man, it's really about sometimes just getting outside of, from behind your laptop and into the community, and just finding just how you connect with different people, and realizing that opportunities can come from just about anywhere, man, as long as you're creative and you're willing to go through the process. So
100%.
Awesome, man. And I mean, give me a sense a little bit of what's your sales process after that, man? Like you get them in that conversation, you get that prospecting call. Like give me a sense a little bit more of how you kind of in the most streamlined fashion take them from someone that doesn't know you to a sale.
So the way that I do this is after someone gets on a call with me, or after someone books a call with me, I have an automation in between the time that they come on where I'm trying to nurture them to understand what the call is for. So I have like what I call a warm-up email where it's like, hey, this is the date and time of our call. This is what you can expect. If there's a video or demo that I want them to watch, I'll ask them. If there's questions that I need them to answer, I'll ask them. Then I get on the call. And on the call, I do a couple frames. And I'll keep this simple to keep it high level for you guys. But my model is essentially the one call close. Like I want to leave a call getting paid, period. Whether it's a deposit or fully paid, because people don't need to think about it. They know when they know. Like that's what the true reality is. So what I do is I hit them with a time and result frame. So something like this. Ali, I really appreciate you jumping on this system assessment with me. Today, we're going to chat probably 30, 40 minutes. We're going to break down your prospecting model and your messaging. We're going to see what bottlenecks and red flags you have in your business right now. If I can help you, I promise you I'll make you an offer here. No matter what, though, I will provide you insight if I can't help you in working with you. Now, we're probably going to chat 30 to 45 minutes if that's okay with you. Are we all on the same page? So that's what we call the time and result frame. The next question is the most important question in sales. Ali, why are you on this call with me? Why are you giving me your time right now? At the end of the day, you have a million other things you can be doing and you're speaking to an internet stranger. Why? What are you hoping for from this call? If you do that, it frames from them exactly why they're there. Oh, I'm kind of just looking. You're just looking? I'm not really looking for someone that's just looking, so maybe we shouldn't do this call. Or, I really desperately need help with X, Y, and Z. Perfect, man. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you on this call. I promise. No matter what, I promise. Awesome. Great. Very important. The next question and the next process that I go through is what I call the 3 W's. The 3 W's are the qualifying portion of sales. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's the obstacle holding you back? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's the obstacle? What's the gap, right? Your goal in sales is to identify, is that gap something you can fill or not? As an appropriate salesperson, your job is to identify only if you can fill that gap to sell them aggressively because it's their best interest. That's the truth. That's how it works. So when you go through the questions, it could be 5 questions, it could be 50. You get the 3 W's, then you convert to the sale. Say, okay, Ali, I 100% believe that I can help you. I'm confident based on everything you shared with me that I'm the right person and team for you to achieve the goals that you have this year, overcome the obstacles, and hit this result. All I want to do is ask you a very simple question. Do you want my help? And they say yes. Okay. So once they say yes, then you say, okay, great. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Right now you're here. You want to go here. And the obstacle is this, correct? Perfect. I can help you overcome that obstacle. I will take you there. Clarifying them and giving them what you call an ascension promise, bringing them somewhere. Promise you I'll bring you there. Okay. Now the way in which we do this is X, Y, and Z in that format. It needs to be a logical framework. I have some sales psychology, not enough time to kind of dive into it right now, but it's kind of just the framework. You identify the logical framework. So what we do is we do X and Y and Z to get to that result. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Do you see value in this? Yes. Okay, great. Now I know I'm making bold claims. I just want you to know that I can back this up. This person and this person and this person, just like you, has done this already. Does that excite you? Yes. Does it make you nervous also? Yes. Totally understandable. People that are nervous right now, I know they understand what's at stake and they're going to be the best results possible. So you're in the perfect spot. Okay. Now, let's talk about the next piece here, okay? Let's talk about how long it takes us to get there in terms of your requirements. What we need from you is X, Y, and Z. Can you do that? Perfect. What we do is everything else. We save you time, we make you more money, and we grow your business. Is that what you wanted? Perfect. Okay, awesome. So you're probably thinking then, what's the investment, right? Let's talk the investment. And then the investment is always from a price anchor. The way you want to do price anchoring is express what you could give them in terms of return on the investment, but increase the price. Something like this. So Ali, let's say you were to invest $10,000 with me. I'm not going to ask you to invest that. Don't run off the call. Hold on, hold your horses. Hear me out, okay? If you were to invest $10,000 with me and I was able to bring you 5 new sales and you told me that each one of those sales is worth $5,000 and we're going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 in new recurring revenue, right? If you invested $10,000 to know you get 25,000 back, would you do it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. You don't have to invest $10,000 because I know that's a pretty hefty risk to do that. In fact, I'm so good at what I do, I can actually quadruple your return on the investment in one sentence. So here's what it is. I want you to only invest $2,500 to create the $25,000 return on the investment. Are you ready to get started? That's the model. What you've done is you've price anchor it so high that when you hit you with your price, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a no-brainer. What you're actually doing in sales in the total frames is 1, time and result frame, why they're on the call, the 3 W's, do they want your help, then the offer, and you're isolating 4 variables. Value, do you see this value? Price, do you understand the price and why it makes sense? Time, why is now the right time? And then decision maker, is everyone on the call that needs to be on the call? Those are my sales strategies and models. Obviously, very short in terms of how I express it, but that's what I do.
Okay, awesome, dude. Awesome. And those 4 things, I mean, you mentioned decision. When do you know, like when is that something pre-call that has to be clarified, or is that something that, you know, at the beginning of the call?
You can do it in pre-call on the warm-up, but I definitely always do it in the beginning of the call too. Like
beginning of the call.
So on this audit that we're going to do, I want to make sure that if we don't get to work together because either it's not the right fit on my end or you don't think it's best for you, which is totally fine. I want to just make sure that everyone's on this call that number 1 can actually make a decision and number 2 can implement what I'm sharing with you so that we're not wasting time. Is that fair?
Wow. Love that. Because the objective there is then to get value from whatever you're sharing with them.
Exactly.
That's really smart. Okay.
I know a thing or two about sales.
Clearly, man. Wow. And okay, so this is all on what you call the prospecting call. That's how that's usually the general call the general type of call that you sell on. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do the prospecting or system assessment. So prospecting audit or system assessment are like 90% of the time what I'm selling on.
Okay. Got it. That's awesome. And in that call, something that I'm sure a lot of coaches have faced. Have you ever faced a situation where, you know, you're helping somebody solve their problem, but you solve a little too much that they feel very comfortable and they don't need to solve anything anymore?
That's not a problem. That's my goal.
Okay.
It's not just money. It's not just money. It's impact. So like if I get on a call with someone and at the end of the call, they're like, yo, I want to be real with you, man. Like you gave me everything I needed. I think I'm good. Like, okay, if that's really what you needed, I'm thrilled, man. That's what I wanted. It's all good. Appreciate it. No worries. I'll circle back with them in 30 and 60 and 90 days. I know the 3 W's. If I know the 3 W's, then I can leverage it. And if I go back and they're like, yeah, I actually haven't done shit since we last spoke. I'm like, okay, well, you said that you had everything you needed. Now we got to work together, bro. Like we can't let that happen again. And that's what I do. And it works really, really well. That make sense?
Wow. There's no, yeah. Uh, because in the general case, they think they've solved the problem, but in fact, they really do need a lot more guidance than they imagine. So in that case, you'd kind of mark them in the system as someone to follow up with in a certain period of time.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I do. So what I do is I send a message, and it's something like this. Hey, Ali, it's been 68 days since we last spoke. At that time, you were here and you wanted to go there. How's everything going? You're a couple months in now into the goal. What's up? 99% of the responses, oh my God, it's been that long? I haven't done anything. Shit. And then I say, okay, well, I think we should get back on a call and see how we can make sure that doesn't happen again.
Man, that's absolutely genius, man. I love that. I love that. And I've never heard that before. So guys, I mean, see, we've had a few others on the call recently, and everybody's got a different approach. Everybody's doing really well, but I really like that. It's like, the goal is not necessarily to make money, it's to also make impact. And at the end of the day, information very different than transformation. You can always give them something that makes them feel okay, I'm good to go. But they either could be good to go, or a month later, and they'll be very happy with what they've accomplished with the single session with you, or you can follow up with them and see where they're at in a little bit. That's brilliant, man. Awesome, man. And I mean, you've done so much coaching. You said like how many over 120 entrepreneurs that you worked at this point? Is that right?
Almost like 400.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've had prospecting on demand. I'm just going to look. I think prospecting on demand right now is like 380, and then elite is like about 120. So yeah.
Oh, my bad, man. I was looking at the number of agencies that you've helped hit six figures, man.
Yeah, so I've helped.
Pretty brilliant, man. That's an awesome success rate. So
I've helped a lot of agencies hit six figures, but I've helped a lot more people just in general, growing their company, not necessarily hitting six figures, of course, but that's the model. Obviously, also, I mean, my growth in coaching has been drastic from 2 years ago to now. I'm not the same person. Obviously, it's very, very different. Breaking up there, but
what are you seeing? Can you hear me fine?
Yep, now I can.
Hello?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, it's fine? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, man. Tell me, like of all your experience with all of these students, I mean, what's been the number one thing that you've seen help them in their, you can say, in their prospecting and sales efforts, man? Like, usually, where do you see people getting stuck, and what is the number one thing that really gets them over that hurdle? Is there a trend?
Yeah, I think probably mindset. I know that's not what you want to hear, but like, I think that's it. Just not believing in yourself and like creating obstacles before they happen and worrying about all this shit before anything actually occurs. Fear of failure, imposter syndrome, all of those things. I would say that's number one. But if you want like very tactical, I would say tactically, like they are reading off scripts, like I am a robot, I want to sell you a service, hello, blah, like not having a conversation. And then also just really bungling the offer portion. They don't understand isolating those variables. So they like hit them with this weird form. Like I've heard so many offers like this. Like, hey, so my coaching program, it's $20,000 and we do X, Y, and Z, and we bring you here and we overcome this obstacle and we do this. Like they just throw the price out in there, throw the value in there. There's no confirmation, yes or no. And then they're expecting the client at the end to be like, yeah, that makes sense. When they're never going to say that. You would never buy like that. You would never buy like that. You want to buy when all of your checks are marked. And really the main checks are value, price, time, and decision maker. For the buyer, it's value, price, and time. Is the value there? Is the price worth it? Is the time efficient for me? That's it. VPT.
Going through them one by one and making sure that they're, they give you the yes on all, like one by one.
Exactly. Because if they don't say that it's valuable, why the hell would you talk about the price? And then also if they say, yes, this is valuable, and then you get onto the price portion and they're like, yeah, I don't see the value. It's like, you just said you saw that value. You just said that. Like, You just said it. 10
Yeah.
seconds. So it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah, man. No, it totally makes sense, man. A lot of people trying to rush into the next part of the sales script without really making sure that they ticked off the box in
Yeah,
the earlier
100%.
stage.
People get really nervous about sales for really no reason. But, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But if you have the right model, then you're going to be fine. And you just have to follow through with the steps and execute. That's really what it comes down to. Not getting in your own way. Most people just get in their own way.
Tell me a little bit more about that imposter syndrome, man. How have you seen that manifest, and like how have you gotten over that in your in your experience? How's the best way to overcome that?
So yeah, I dealt with imposter syndrome for a while in my coaching program, where I'm like coaching people that are at a higher level financially than I was ever at, or anything like that. And my mentor actually gave me the best advice possible at that time. I asked him, I said, like I'm struggling with this mindset because like I'm a person of integrity and I really, really care. Like I really want to help and I really don't want to like put these people in a bad spot. And he's like, okay, so do you know what I do outside of coaching? And I'm like, no, I have no idea. And he's like, I help Fortune 500 banks create better processes and procedures to scale. I'm like, okay, like I'm not understanding his point. And he's like, Alex, have I ever owned a Fortune 500 bank? I'm like, I was like, is this a trap question? Do you? He's like, of course I fucking don't own a Fortune 500 bank. I wouldn't be on the call with you right now. I like you. Do you think I would be doing coaching if I owned a fucking Fortune 500 bank? The point is, you don't have to necessarily be an owner or do this X, Y, or Z to be able to coach or sell or produce a valuable service to them. What you need to do is provide something that they're not having right now. So that's how I overcame my imposter syndrome. And then I also recognized, and I dove deeper into what it was. Imposter syndrome is just a place of integrity. It's the concern that am I telling the honest truth to my clients and people that need me? Like, can I really support and help them? If you're asking those questions, you're asking the right questions. The answer is not to give up. The answer is to find the solution, not necessarily you. Find the fulfillment solution like I did, like I mentioned earlier. That's my model. That's how I overcome it.
Wow. And when it comes to those integrity questions, man, like give me a little bit more about on that, man. Like how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things I don't allow people to do is like have ambiguity in everything in their life. Like a lot of people are just very ambiguous about everything. I want to be successful. I want to make money. I'm fearful. I'm scared. Like those are so ambiguous, because if you took the time to write down what you're fearful of and then 10 other people did, it's probably all different. If you took the time to write down what success means to you, it would probably be different than what I mean success means to me. Like time and financial freedom. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? That's just a word. So I don't allow myself to get stuck in just words. So when I identify like I'm feeling imposter syndrome, what does that mean? Like, why am I feeling that way? What's the expression of this fear or belief or concern that I have? And the identity of that is breaking down what's really going on. So it's like, okay, I'm fearful, or I fear that I'm not going to sell something that my clients need. Okay, great. So how can I solve that? What I need to do is I need to find something my clients need. Okay, cool. So now I found something my clients need, but I'm scared because I don't have the proof of it. Okay, why am I scared that I don't have the proof of it? Because if I sell them and then they don't get the result, they're going to be upset at me. Okay, and if they're upset at me, what's the worst that happens? They ask for a refund. If they ask for a refund, what's the worst that happens? I either refund them or I don't give them a refund, and then they give me a bad review. What's the worst thing that happens on a bad review? I debate their bad review, and one or two clients in the future maybe don't want to work with me because of it, but it won't make or break my business. Okay, and I start breaking it down step by step, deeper and deeper and deeper, until the fear is no longer there. And I'll tell you how this happened, and then we can hop off from this. And it's a perfect story to end on because it's so silly, but it's so true. And you're gonna laugh at this, but it's real. I promise. I promise it's real. When I was a kid, I had a phobia of flying insects. I still don't have a good feeling about it, but I'm much better than I was. But I'm telling you, like phobia, like any flying insect, including butterflies.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like no matter what flying insect it was, I would have a total freak out until I was like 15, even 16 years old. And I'm the youngest of three sons. So my two elder brothers obviously knew that I was scared of it. And I remember when I was like maybe 12 years old, they told me like, hey, we're going to go to Lion Country Safari and we're going to go look at the zoos. And like, my brothers are a pretty decent older than I am. My eldest brother is 10 years older and my middle brother is 6 years older. So they're, you know, like there are other dad figures also. So they brought me to this place, Lion Country Safari. And what I didn't know is that Lion Country Safari is also called Butterfly World. And they have an aviary of just butterflies. So he brings me to the aviary and I thought it's like a bird aviary or aviary. I don't know how you're supposed to say that word, by the way. But anyways, they bring me there and there's a million butterflies, right? And everyone that's in there is like, oh, they're so beautiful and so nice. And I'm sitting,
Oh, no.
I'm killing the butterflies. Literally, I'm like, no, I'm freaking out. I'm screaming. I was escorted out of Butterfly World at 12 years old. It was humiliating, obviously. And, you know, that day when we came home, you know, obviously my brothers were laughing about it. And, you know, I felt like really shitty. I started using Google to like learn about like fear, and I didn't understand phobias. And like my mom was really scared of elevators, like claustrophobia. I was terrified of it. But like, why? Like, what are you scared of? She got stuck in an elevator when she was younger for like 6 hours. So it just became a fear. What was my fear? I think I might have got stung by a bee when I was little, but like nothing. And then I started realizing like fear is only a word, right? Like fear is just a word. It's an emotion, but it's a word. And then we attach a feeling to that word. So what I identified was, okay, let's break down this fear. What am I actually fearful of? I'm fearful of flying insects. Why? Because they scare me. Why do they scare me? Because these are not good answers. There's not enough. And what I'm recognizing is there's no logical format to the fear. And when I break away the logical format, then I need to step into the fear, into the uncomfortable. So I went back to Butterfly World when I was 18 years old. And I was still scared, by the way. I know it's crazy, but I was. And I walked in and, you know, I just stood there and I just took some deep breaths. And then there was no fear because there's nothing to be fearful of. Butterflies don't do anything, right? If it was an aviary of bees, okay, maybe they can sting you, whatever. But like, we're talking about butterflies. And so like my joke and the way that I like to close out this story is like, I had my own metamorphosis. I went from a caterpillar to a butterfly because I used to be fearful. And now I strive in fear and in uncomfortable situations. And that's what I want people to do. Like, don't allow yourself to fall in line with just being fearful or scared or being an imposter or worried or frustrated or, you know, having tension or defining success. Like, work those words into definitions for you specifically. It's your own dictionary. And then work through logic and identify, is this making sense or is it not? And if you do that, you'll find a lot more fulfillment in life and a lot better model of being successful as a business owner. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And that's, I think, the best thing I could possibly share on this live.
Thank you so much, man. Honestly, like from the wisdom to the down to the strategies, man, you are just amazing, man. And I really appreciate you and your time and you know, coming here and taking time out of your day to really impart this kind of knowledge, these kind of gems, and really giving us so much in such a little amount of time, man. Thank you so much, bro.
You got it, bro.
All Let them know as well where they can find you, man. And
best thing to do, tag me in the post, Jacques, and then just friend me on Facebook. Easiest way to connect with me. Cool. And if you need anything from me, just message me. I'm always there for you guys. I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And if I ghost you, just send me the ghost GIF. I'll know that you were here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Cool. And we'll drop the freebie for you guys in the comment section as well. Cool.
Awesome. Alex, thanks so much for the time, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All love.
All right, man. Bye, bro. See you.